Have you done the certification and training yet?
No, I really just want to go scuba diving.
I know.
I didn't think this would be so difficult.
Right. I assume, although you tell me if I'm wrong, you're going to need to redo the online course at this point because it's now been close to a year.
Yeah, it's been so far, about a year. I would like to freshen up before I do something for my own personal safety.
And would you
which I
agree
would like to advocate for.
Yeah, would you agree that's reasonable probably if he did it a year ago?
No, absolutely. He still has access to what he's completed to be able to go back and review and can still be transferred to another instructor, so it's not all lost.
I'm going to go ahead and open this up to my colleagues for more questions.
Mr. Vega, I can see by your demeanor and the way you're describing it that this is not an excuse that you came up with, that there really is some mental health issue, especially with your background. But I'm troubled with the idea that you seem to be blaming him for not recognizing a mental health issue that you never told him about.
I don't feel like I'm blaming him, sir, Your Honor.
Well, you have. You said, I take responsibility for my lack of communication. To me, taking responsibility would give him his $400 back.
I attempted to reach
out
to
him. It seems to me like you're taking no responsibility.
I attempted to reach out to him in April when I had the capacity to say, like, let's sit down. And in my head, I didn't want to offer it to him because I felt like that's what he was going to zero in on. But in my head, I had the option on the table once I met with him in person that I would be able to just be able to talk it out, negotiate, see how reasonable both of us are. I felt there was a sense of entitlement to
get the training that you paid for?
No, the nature of like wanting to be able to just sit down with him when I had the capacity to and explain to him in person so that we can empathize with each other, connect on that level, on that human level, versus just through text and emails.
Well,
it's $300.
Can I jump in here, please?
Sorry.
Mr. Vega, this is my issue because you're in here and you're telling us that, you know, you don't believe that the plaintiff is unreasonable, that you do accept responsibility, but in this response to Nowie in May of this year, this paragraph here says, even in the midst of blatant disregard for the agreed terms and the disclosures I provided, which you testified to that you didn't directly make to the plaintiff, I offered to meet with him in person so that context and tone would not be lost in text communications as I observed what appears to be challenges with comprehension. On whose part? Are you saying that he had a problem understanding? What exactly?
I'm not sure.
It just seemed like you were putting it on him in this response to Nowie. When he filed a complaint with them and you had to respond, it seemed as though you were just without blame, that it was this student who just didn't understand.
He was demanding the full $400, and I wasn't interested in trying to have that conversation with him about my costs and everything, especially since it was already in the email. I'm like, it felt like it was an all or nothing deal with him.
But like, why do you have to have a sit-down meeting and talk face-to-face? It's $300.
All I wanted was the opportunity to just explain myself in person.
Sometimes we don't.
And if he said I would just like my money back, I would have given it to him then. But I just wanted that opportunity to explain myself, at least on Zoom, if not face-to-face.
You good?
I've heard enough.
Yeah.
All right. The parties are excused while we deliberate in this matter. Thank you both.
Dare I say, this is an easy one. That plaintiff met his burden. He put up $400, and all we heard is nothing but excuses from the defendant. And look, he probably did have mental health issues. I get it, but he didn't communicate that to the plaintiff. And he keeps saying he's willing to take responsibility, but he's not willing to take responsibility because otherwise he would have given him back his money. I'm apt to award $400 to the plaintiff.
Well, he's got to take the course over, right?
Yeah.
If he's got, because I was going to refund him the
No, that's on him.
He won't even tell us how much he had to pay because he claims it's proprietary.
That's on him.
And
He doesn't
under
get
the
that
circumstances, I'm not giving him $1 for the fact that he won't disclose to us how much he pays for it.
I know. I'm not giving him anything. That's on him. He could have at least negotiated and say, hey, by email, I'll give you $300 if that's okay. He didn't do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he wanted to meet in person, and after 200 days,
and explain to him, no, this was ridiculous. It was $300 or $400 at issue.
Yep.
And this business about the no refund policy. If I order a custom bridal gown and it says no refunds, and then they don't send me my wedding dress, the no refund policy doesn't apply.
If you violate the contract, you can't say no refund.
You don't get to say no refunds, and now I'm not giving you what you asked for, but no refunds. I mean, it's silly business.
So plaintiff.
$400.
$400.
And I hope he's either not in this business anymore or has changed his policy.
Yep.
All right, we're agreed.
We do.
Waive a verdict.